In the kingdom of Varden, nestled between a silver river and golden fields, a princess was born. They named her Anahita. Unlike any princess the kingdom had ever seen, Anahita's first smile was not for a silk toy, but for a handful of rich, dark soil her nurse accidentally brought in on her slipper. While other royal children learned courtly dances, Anahita learned which seeds loved the sun and which preferred the shade. Her mother, Queen Ilara, found her daughter's passion endearing. "She has the hands of a creator," she would say, watching the young princess tend to a vegetable patch behind the kitchens. But King Vikram, her father, was a man of tradition. He saw only a future queen with mud on her hem. "Look at you," the king would thunder, finding her knee-deep in a lentil field. "A princess should be in the palace, learning statecraft, not playing in the dirt like a common farmhand." Anahita would simply lower her head. Her joy dimmed, but not extinguished. She loved her father, but she loved the earth more. The queen would gently intervene, wiping her daughter's brow. "Let her be, my king. She will learn statecraft in time. For now, this is her heart."
And so, with her mother's silent blessing, Anahita grew up among the farmers. She learned the language of the monsoon, the patience of the growing season, and the satisfaction of harvest. Her greatest joy was her own secret garden, a walled patch where she grew the sweetest tomatoes and the most fragrant basil in all of Varden. Years passed, and the time for her coronation approached. King Vikram envisioned a grand ceremony where his daughter would formally become the heir, a role that would lead her to a suitable prince and a life of royal duty. He called her to the throne room, his face beaming with pride. "My daughter," he announced, "the time has come. Your coronation will be in a fortnight. After that, you will rule this kingdom, and one day a fine prince will rule beside you. A beautiful future awaits." But Anahita's face, which he expected to be joyful, was pale and troubled. "No, father," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "I do not wish to be crowned." A stunned silence filled the hall. The king's pride turned to confusion, then anger. "What do you mean? A princess? What else can you possibly be?" Anahita looked at her father, her eyes shining with a truth she had always known. "I don't want a crown, father. I want the land. I want to feel the sun on my back, the wind in my hair, and the earth beneath my feet. Let me be a farmer. Let me be the Kisaan princess." King Vikram scoffed, a harsh, bitter sound. "A farmer? You would give up a kingdom for a patch of dirt? This is a childish fantasy." He stood up, his voice echoing. "No, there will be a coronation. That is final." Seeing the pain in her father's eyes and the unyielding wall of his tradition, Anahita made a decision that shocked everyone. "Then I will not be here for it," she said quietly. "You can't make me be something I'm not." She turned and walked out of the palace, leaving her father furious and her mother heartbroken. King Vikram was sure she would return within a day, tired and hungry, but a week passed and she did not come back. Humiliated and enraged, he went to the one person he thought could fix his problem, a cunning royal advisor named Karun, who was also a master of whispers and shadows. "My daughter has shamed me," the king growled. "She chooses to be a farmer. I want her to fail. If her precious crops are destroyed, she will have no choice but to return and accept her duty." Karun bowed, a sly smile on his face. "It shall be done, your majesty. A small matter. We can divert a minor stream. A dry spell in just her area. Her little garden will wither, her pride will follow." But Anahita was not a novice. Her friends among the farmers, the birds, and even the field mice were her eyes and ears. She learned of the plan and moved her garden to a spot near the main river where the water was abundant. When the king's men diverted the smaller stream, her crops, fed by the river, remained lush and green. The farmers, seeing her wisdom, began to rally around her, their respect for the princess growing into loyalty.
The king was now desperate. His pride was wounded. His final command was the cruelest. Burn them. In the dead of night, send men to burn her fields to ash.
Karun,
But this
the time
time,
has come.
Karun hesitated.
Execute the plan
Your
without
Majesty,
fail.
the people are talking. They see that every time you try to harm your daughter, you harm the kingdom. The diverted stream dried up a village well. The flood damaged a granary. And if we burn her fields, the fire could spread. You are not just hurting the princess, you are hurting your own subjects. The king ignored him. The men were sent. However, the entire kingdom seemed to be watching. The farmers, the merchants, and even the palace guards had heard of the king's obsession. They formed a protective ring around Anahita's fields. When the king's men arrived with their torches, they were met by a silent, unarmed wall of citizens. The men, unwilling to harm their own people, retreated. The next morning, a changed King Vikram walked out to Anahita's fields. He found her there, her hands in the soil, her face peaceful. He saw the farmers who worked beside her, not with fear, but with joy. He saw the land prosperous and abundant, all because of his daughter's love. He knelt before her, his royal robes dirtying in the mud, tears in his eyes. "Forgive me, my daughter," he said, his voice broken. "I tried to break you to fit a crown, but you have built a kingdom more resilient than any palace walls. You are not just a princess, you are the heart of this land." Anahita helped him to his feet, her own eyes moist. "I just wanted to grow things, Father, to care for the land and the people who feed from it." From that day, there was no coronation in a throne room. Instead, there was a celebration in the fields. King Vikram placed a simple garland of wheat and marigolds around his daughter's neck, declaring her the official guardian of Vardhan's lands. Word of the Kisaan princess spread. Among the many who came to see her unique kingdom was a prince from a neighboring state, a young man named Rohan. He was not interested in royal courts or grand armies. He was an innovator of irrigation and crop rotation. When he met Anahita, he didn't see a princess who had rejected her throne. He saw a partner. He knelt beside her in her field and asked not for her hand in marriage, but for the chance to learn from her. As they worked side by side, planting a new orchard together, a deep and quiet love began to grow between them, as natural and strong as the ancient banyan tree that shaded the village square. And so the kingdom of Vardhan prospered, not under the rule of a traditional queen, but under the gentle, steady hand of a Kisaan princess, her farmer prince, and the enduring love of a father who finally learned that the strongest roots are not made of gold, but of soil, sweat, and the simple truth of a life lived with purpose.